Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
We are creating conscious community by sharing mindful manifesting skills and transcendental music.
We are all in this together. My resistance to the source within me. I surrender my resistance to the source within me. We are made of energy. We are made of energy. Freedom to be, freedom to be, freedom to be, freedom to be joyful and grateful, freedom to be joyful and grateful, freedom to be joyful and grateful, joyful and grateful, joyful and grateful, joyful and grateful. We are made of energy. 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 source within me. I surrender my resistance to the source within me. I surrender my resistance to the source within me, within me. We are made of energy, energy. We are made of energy, energy. We are made of energy, energy. We are made of energy, energy,
Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
She's Lynn.
And he's Monte. And we are here in July, almost Independence Day, if you're hearing this right when it comes out.
Indeed.
This has been something I've been looking towards for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
The American Pluto return is almost here. It's in another week beyond this first airing. So we can see that there's a lot of karmic cycles being revealed and how America has got its fingers in lots of other countries' business and such.
Yeah.
But then it comes back to the individuals and the communities and seeking that freedom, which was the original intent, right?
Yeah. Right. Freedom is a big deal, and there's a lot of ways to look at the word freedom. And I don't know, I gravitate towards seeking freedom in my own mind and in all of our minds, as like super important as far as mental wellness, mental health, at least leaning it towards freedom. And what does that even mean?
Yeah.
What is this freedom thing in our minds? And, from my perspective, being free from excessive anxiety, being free from excessive depression, being free from
past trauma.
Yeah. Being free from excessive, from where I'm at right now, it's like I can't totally be free from trauma.
Right.
It's not like, I'm free, yay, but I can be moving in that direction, and then when I'm moving in that direction, my mind feels lighter and more able, more nimble, sharper, all that. So then I can create cool things, instead of creating
more of the same.
Yeah, because you're talking about karma, right?
Yeah.
And karma is something that, from my perspective, karma is the energy that I put out in the world gets reflected back at me. So it's this reflection of our own energy, and how that relates to freedom is it is possible. I mean, and humans have done this for thousands of years, is just if I create enough bad karma or negative karma that I'm not free at all because I have to deal with all this.
Pay it off.
Yes.
It's a debt.
Yes,
it is a debt.
It is a debt, and then you're not free.
But you can be free in paying the debt by not being remorseful or regretful, right?
And dealing with it like with courage. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, I made some mistakes.
Self-compassion.
Yeah, right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and getting out of those cycles, essentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, in one negative cycle that a lot of us deal with is just that beating ourselves up kind of cycle.
I'm good at that one.
I think really I'm good at it too, you know? And just being able to forgive ourselves, you know, and to take a step forward then towards in forgiving ourselves or in reducing our negative self-talk. We're taking a big step towards freedom. Yeah. Again, because if we lack in forgiveness, we're chained. We're chained to that event. We're chained to that mistake we made. Right. You know, and then we just keep beating ourselves up, and then we make the same mistake again because our self-esteem is lower because we're beating ourselves up. You know, and we're caught in this cycle of I don't know, just lacking freedom. Yeah. For sure. And I mean, the same goes for forgiving other people. If I'm unable to forgive other people, I'm chained to those events.
And they're chained to the past. You're like carrying that baggage with you, or like Teresa of Avila talks about them being in your dungeon, and if they're in your dungeon, you gotta like feed them.
They're always there. Yeah, Teresa of Avila was a Catholic mystic from the 1500s. Yeah, this real like strong female leader of the of a spiritual movement, essentially.
The Carmelite nuns.
Yeah, and she would talk about how you want to think of your mind as a castle. And if you're unable to forgive people, you have in your mind, you have these people chained up in the dungeon in your castle.
That's such an interesting vision.
Talk about lacking freedom, right?
Or visual, I mean.
Yeah, it's powerful. And it's, I would argue that it's accurate.
Yeah, I agree.
So thank you, Teresa of Avila.
Yeah. I personally have been feeling all of this. And this is this is an experience that the whole world is experiencing. Like, even though it's an American Pluto return, there's also a Mars square Pluto in the sky, and that's pretty intense. Everyone is feeling this in this whole entire world, and on top of that, America is being exposed in many ways. And it's not like I'm talking about the news. I'm talking about astrologically being exposed for all of the skeletons in the closet and all the people chained in the dungeon. And it's such an interesting experience to be here because it's affecting our collective consciousness and our collective unconscious. So it's like freedom from that. You know, there's more than one level of collective conscious, right? There's the collective conscious of those who are meditating and really working on upgrading their vibration and getting out of the past cycles. Yeah. And then there's the rest of the world that doesn't understand that that's an option, or has said, no, that's woo-woo, I'm not doing that. Or, you know, like the collective conscious of all of the people in the world who are suffering the inner slavery to the past vibration and the traumas. And like you said, you can't really get away from trauma, and you can't really get away from your karma, but you can go through these healing experiences with the self-forgiveness and the self-understanding. And yes, this is a human experience and my vehicle has been through these things. And and it's freedom from that. And then we pull back out of that collective consciousness and connect with a different one.
Yeah.
That is way more potent and healthy and joyful and
right, progressive.
Yeah,
in a real sense.
In
a real sense
of inner freedom. It's progressive in that liberation.
And I completely agree with what you're saying. And another way of framing that is that there essentially are two collective mind states. The higher vibrational mind state, and you can self-identify that when you're feeling inspired, when you're feeling peaceful, when you're feeling content, when you're feeling joyous, loving, forgiving, all that. There's a certain feeling that you have when you're in that mind state. And the other collective mind state, the lower vibrational mind state, is one of, fear, guilt, shame. That's a big one. Anger, hatred, and that mind state. If we spend too much time in that mind state, I would argue that we're lacking freedom.
Absolutely.
Because then freedom lies in the higher vibrational mind state. Not saying that I spend all my time in this higher vibrational state, because I don't. I go back and forth. But I spend as much time as possible in the higher mind state, because I know when I'm in that state, I am inspired. And something? If I'm going to create something cool different for the world, that's where it's going to happen. It's not going to be me being all hateful and like
angry.
Yeah, throwing a brick through somebody's window, because that's what that leads to, metaphorically or in.
Yeah, I love when you've talked about how when we're talking bad about someone that they're feeling that.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
I do too.
I mean, our minds are just way more powerful than we understand. And we think we can like talk bad about people and hate on them and with no repercussions.
Well, karma right away.
Well, yeah, especially if they're feeling it.
Chalking it up.
You're digging at somebody else. You're hurting them. And
which it can go the other way too. When you talk good about someone, they feel that too.
That's true.
And that's when they call, because they're like, "Oh, hey, I was thinking about you," and you're like, "Oh, wow, I was literally just talking about you. Or I was literally just thinking about you."
You start getting into that flow of synchronicity and a mystical kind of living. That's, to me, that's free. That's where the freedom lies. And like I said, I'm not there a lot of the time, but I do touch it. It's like, oh, I'm inspired. Oh, I'm feeling good. Oh, yeah, yes, I see the spark of God in everyone. That kind of
that's
mood.
Cool.
Yeah. Or that kind of, that's a philosophy too. It's a personality aspect that we can encourage in ourselves, and not that, but it takes a level of, speaking of freedom, it's being free from almost the mainstream media's vibe on the world.
Right.
If we're hooked into
propaganda.
that, they're not talking about seeing the God in everyone.
No, not at all.
No, they're not. They're saying these people are bad, blah, 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 judgment, hatred, anger, fear.
It's feeding that incoherence, It's like, when we talk bad about somebody, it literally creates this incoherent stress level in ourself, because in a sense, we're fighting the invisible. And when the media encourages that, it just holds us in the state of dis-ease. We're uneasy, we're uncomfortable, we're not feeling good in our bodies. We're not making good choices because, it's a scary time right now. I'm not about to say it's not. I mean,
that's
food in the grocery store is going up, gas is going up, interest rates are going up. It's not an easy time.
No.
But it's a great opportunity to put any practices you've ever tried to work.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's get to meditating. Okay, let's get to chanting. Okay, let's focus on our yoga and Tai Chi and let's go for a walk. Let's turn the news off.
Yeah, right. Freedom from excessive media use.
Yeah.
That's another
important
feeling
like it's a good responsibility. Like, I'm a good citizen. I watch the news, It's like
all the time. Yeah.
That's what they want you to do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, for sure. Or freedom from just excessive screen time in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't like seeing the weekly report on my phone. But I
know. It's like sometimes I feel ashamed when I see it.
But I listen to some cool podcasts and
it's true.
I'm like learning. I literally have a class online and I'm learning on it. So yeah, my screen usage is gonna be up, but I don't look at Facebook very much. I don't do Instagram. I don't do all these things. So I know that I'm at least voting with my time.
Yeah. Well, I don't do such a good job voting with my time sometimes. Just saying, but that being said, at least I realize it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do a good time with it.
It's important to be able to see our own personal flaws.
Well, and I've noticed personally that if I spend too much time looking at the screen and scrolling on whatever, that my mind goes into that lower mind collective. And I start feeling depressed. And I start feeling more agitated. And I start feeling more insecure, and my self-esteem starts going down, and the whole ball of wax. Not saying that I always immediately notice that and then get out of it, because sometimes I don't. Because sometimes I lack freedom and I'm stuck in this, whatever I'm stuck in, looking at. Wherever my mind is, but just realizing it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm lacking freedom right now. I'm stuck in this lower mind collective. I need to take a break from this.
Right. And think that it's okay.
Go for a bike ride. Yeah. Set it down. Go for a walk. Like you said, set it down, play some music. I mean, I've noticed the other day, or it was a while ago, maybe a month ago, but I sat down and I played the piano for 45 minutes straight. And when I was done, I just felt so high. My mind felt so refreshed and clear. And that I was tasting freedom right then.
Right.
And I get down on myself for not getting to that place more often, because I feel like I have the tools to do it. I just want to do this one Qigong practice for 10 minutes a day, and I don't always do it, and I know it makes me feel better. But that being said, it's, it comes back to the ratchet effect, the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because that's human nature right there. And I'm not going to change human nature by beating myself up, and when I do take that step back, I just have to be okay with it. Be like, okay, you took a step back, now keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You're going to do this, and if I'm motivated by doing it, so I feel better, I'm motivated because I know it helps my family. I know I'm motivated because it helps my community, helps the culture, helps all of humanity.
I'm motivated because I feel, first off, I believe that we're eternal beings, and that I have this opportunity in this life to clear up some karmas, work through things, and basically elevate my soul's vibration. The outcome, whatever it may be, is getting more higher. It's, I'm raising myself up by saying, you know what, I'm going to work on these practices. You know what, I'm going to work on healing.
Yeah.
And healing's the priority, not numbing out, and so I'm self-motivated by my own desire to lift up my soul. But in the end, it helps the community. I have community. I have friends and joy and but
and I'm sure there are moments when you take that step backwards as well.
Oh yes, lots of them.
Yeah, which is that's being a human. And if we can accept that, it kind of gets back to the 4 stages of self-forgiveness. Humans make mistakes, number 1. Number 2, I'm a human. Number 3, I'm going to try and learn from that mistake. Number 4, I forgive myself. And then we realize when we take that step backwards or 2 steps backwards or whatever it is, that, I'm a human. And that has helped me greatly because up until recently, I've been like I still am, but I'm really hard on myself. How could you have made that mistake? Go into that kind of self-talk, but now I realize, I'm like destined to make mistakes. And I'm destined to make mistakes in the future as well. So feeling like that there's freedom in that idea, and that these mistakes can actually be really beautiful learning experiences.
Exactly.
And they might be painful, but, welcome to the human condition.
Yeah.
Because we freedom. How about freedom from excessive pain? That's another.
Well, I know there's a statement. I don't remember what the quote is, but it's pain is inevitable, suffering is optional.
Sounds very Buddhist.
Yeah.
Like Thich Nhat Hanh, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but we go through painful experiences. We are here on Earth. That's the nature of Earth. There's gruesome, cruel things that happen here.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a part of the program.
Yeah, for now.
It's how we approach it, how we respond to it, how we move through it.
Yes.
That matters.
Heck yeah. It reminds me of Thich Nhat Hanh. Because he was the Buddhist monk in Vietnam when the Americans were literally just like bombing his village.
Racking up our karma.
Yeah. Just wrecking his culture. But he refused to hate. He refused. And he actually got kicked out of his country because of that. They kicked him out.
Well, I think it also had to do with he was gaining such a followership that they were like, you got to get out of here.
Yeah. But, man, what a tremendous teacher. Beautiful soul, You could just... there's a really cool Thich Nhat Hanh documentary, and I really... highly suggest it. We just watched it a few months ago.
I watched it twice because it was so good.
I'd like to see that again.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Watch it for July 4th.
But he was free.
Absolutely.
In some ways.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had his moments.
I've been working on meditating on the heart center. There's so much cool scientific acknowledgement of the effects of coherence. What is coherence? That coherence is when the heart pumps at a steady rate and the nervous system is in rest and digest and the brain is relaxed but aware. And this is coherence. This is what our body was meant to be in at least some of the time every day. And now coherence is this thing that we have to retrain ourselves to experience because our culture has normalized stress so much. Like it's important to be stressed out. It's important. If you're not angry, you're not listening, or I can't remember the latest slogan, but
that's been a slogan for 30 years, by the way.
oh, well,
but it's like popular now.
Yeah,
sure.
and it's ruining our immune systems. It's so bad for the human body to always be stressed out, and it's important to be able to step away and say, you know what, mental health moment. I've got to get out of this busy mind. I've got to step back. I've got to focus on my heart. So there's been these really great studies done by the Heart Math Institute and Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's really awesome. It's science, and studies are proving this stuff to work, and it's a beautiful opportunity for humans to remember and to have the proof. People like proof.
Well, and to just have that feeling of empowerment that if I do this training, I'm able to get into the flow. I'm able to get into the zone.
Right.
At least a lot of the time.
Or be free, free myself from the conscious.
That's what the flow is,
consciousness.
I think. You're free, and because you're free, you're excelling at whatever you do. You're in the flow. If you're a basketball player, you're just like, bam, you can't miss a shot, but your mind is free, and your body's just working, and everything is working, and it's like, or if you're a computer programmer or whatever, you get in the flow is really key to human evolution, that we as a collective just get into that flow more and more often, because then we're just going to create.
And that's our individual responsibility.
Yeah.
Because if we are, I can't remember, like, knowledge is a responsibility. Oh, whatever. I can't remember that slogan. But as humans here, I feel that the ultimate goal is to reconnect with our soul and remember the original mission, which is to just raise the vibration of your soul and go to the next level. And if we can remember that and take time for that, then it's our responsibility to do that, to take the time for it, to say, hey, you know what? I don't really like this stress game. Right. I'm going to prioritize connecting with my soul today or every day,
Yeah.
And that's our responsibility. That's our true responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And it's easier said than done, too.
It's like a responsibility, but it leads to freedom.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And the trick is how do we actually get into that, our subconscious minds, and start changing our belief systems? Mm-hmm. That's where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
Because people can talk, and that's all like the conscious mind. It's like this thin layer of our mind, where 95% of our mind is the subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to really create change, lasting change in our minds, we have to be able to get in there and reprogram.
Yeah.
And to be able to look at our unproductive beliefs.
It's like deprogram from the cultures.
It is. I mean, I've been highly programmed my entire life through the media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just recent. This has been something that's been going on for many moons.
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh, okay, well, no. I mean, and step one is really noticing what beliefs don't serve you. Mm-hmm. And really kind of getting into that place of...
Which is really hard because the beliefs are very much in the unconscious most of the time.
Right, but they bubble up. Mm-hmm. We all have beliefs, and I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, okay, we all have beliefs, and let's just think about what our core beliefs are. I believe humanity... blah, 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 is destined for blah, 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 or whatever, mm-hmm. Or I believe nature, or I believe, just you start looking at these like big beliefs that are kind of core beliefs, and just taking a look at those and be like, I wonder where that belief came from. You know?
Yeah.
And being free to think for yourself. How's that one? Because when all our beliefs are just what people have told us repeatedly, because that's the motto of the media, is you take a simple message and you just repeat it over and over and over, and it drives it into the subconscious.
Yeah.
That's like very that's psychological. You could call it psychological warfare if you wanted to, but just, and that's the technique that Joseph Goebbels from Nazi Germany created, I believe. And he said, you just keep the message simple and you repeat it over and over and over. And in Germany, the way they got started, or the Nazis, or one of the things they did is they made sure everybody had radios. They shipped everybody radios. I think they gave them away or something like that.
Present.
So then,
a present from the government.
Yes. And then they would decide what messages they wanted to repeat over and over and over and over. And it's just like drove into people's subconscious. And it's like, oh yeah, and just all the Nazi beliefs. Oh yeah, we need to attack Russia, or we need to do this, or we need to do that. And people responded. But then what happened? Then karma reared its ugly head, or reared its realistic head, and all that wave of violence just came rolling back onto Germany, and they got wrecked, But it's that idea, though, that if you repeat something over and over again, that it sinks into your subconscious. Eventually, we can use that to our advantage. That's kind of where I'm at. That's why I repeat the phrase "thank you" over and over and over in my mind. I start out every day when I wake up. I attempt to say thank yous before I even get out of bed. And just keep it going. Just keep touching on it, and I'm trying to create this scenario where these thank yous, where it sinks into my subconscious, and then my plot of gratitude grows.
In your mind garden.
Yes, in my mind garden. Let the gratitude grow. Let my plot of resentment shrink. Let my plot of empowerment grow. My plot of forgiveness grow. Plot of love grow. So it's like I'm actively cultivating my mind garden, and it works, but it takes effort. That's the thing. That's what I'm getting to. If you're really going to reprogram your subconscious, it just takes effort and time. But what else do we have to do?
Right. It's
Am
why
I just
we're
going
here.
to sit around all day worried about stuff? That takes effort too.
Yeah. So I want to introduce the next song that we're going to do, and it's a meditation in itself. And it's Yanti. And it's about finding the wisdom within to know what you need to learn, and connecting with the God source creative energy that we are here to connect with. So I'll just say the English words that I wrote to summarize what it means. And you are here on purpose. Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm saying the wrong song. You are the one to walk your path. You are the one to know your truth. You can find the teachers and guides, and you can find the wisdom too. Have the courage to see all the sides. You know it all starts with you. So it's a song to encourage each of us individually to know we have the wisdom and know we need teachers. It takes both, I think, to get further, because having someone outside of you reflect that they can see a belief that's deep within you is so helpful. It helps us grow so quickly, and we can learn from anyone and everyone, or we can have a specific teacher. It's all good. It's all helpful in moving forward, as long as we also use that discernment to know what we need. We don't want to just stay with one teacher because, we want to stay in this lineage and that's that. What if you're getting a message that says, I've learned all I can learn, and there's some things here, the human aspects that are not serving my soul's growth, and I got to move on. That's wisdom right there, is knowing when it's time to move on. It's knowing when it's time to push through the difficult and stick with something. There's both sides of pushing through, sticking with something, and knowing when it's time to go, knowing when it's time to move on, find the next teacher. So that's what this chant is about. And it's very much about the freedom within to grow, learn, and heal.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
Yes.
You are the one to walk your path. You are the one to know your truth. You can find your teachers and guides, and you can find the wisdom too. Have the courage to see all the signs. You know it all starts with you. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Celebrate, celebrate the divine within you. Celebrate, celebrate the divine within you. Celebrate, 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 yeah. Celebrate, 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 yeah. Celebrate, 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 yeah, the divine within you. Well, that was lovely.
Indeed.
I love playing music. I love sharing music.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you all for being here. And I wish you a beautiful Independence Day. And I hope that we all meditate at some point that day and just really feel the liberation calling us.
Yeah, and if we can all just, or a lot of us at least, just keep moving towards that feeling of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
and spending more and more time in the higher vibrational mind collective. And just my suggestion is to really just identify when you're there, identify when you're not there.
In a non-judgmental way.
Yes, totally. That's
in a mindful way.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Because if we judge ourselves, that's our bad habit. That's what sinks us into the lower collective.
Yeah.
Judging ourselves or
back.
judging others, for that matter. Because let's face it, we're all these, God creatures with like sparks of God within each of us, but we're also all confused, and making mistakes and
not really understanding what we're doing here.
Yeah, right.
Which no one really knows the answer.
Well, somebody might know, but
we have good hypotheses in our, we've got great wise people that have come before, and there's good wise people here in this day and age too. There's lots of wisdom to be gleaned, and I think it's important to have an open mind, but also a good compass inside. Like we have to do our own practices so that the red lights and the green lights are distinguishable.
Yeah, right. I mean, and ultimately, I believe we are our best teacher. If we have the ability to actually step back from our thoughts and look at them in a discerning way. And then we notice our thoughts, we notice our thinking patterns. And then from that perspective, we're able to identify which of these patterns are productive in our lives and which of these patterns are unproductive. And we just try to weed out the unproductive patterns.
Yep.
Or we just try and plant gratitude. That's why I love the thank you practice, because it's easy. It's like you don't have to like over analyze anything. You just say thank you in your mind. When you're feeling any way. When I'm feeling terrible and stressed, I try and say thank you.
Absolutely.
When I'm feeling good, I try and say thank you. Accentuate the moment.
Yeah, I'm almost thinking we could do the thank you song next. I know we had something else planned, but I think that might be a really good idea. And so I just want to summarize everything that we went through, and then we'll move on to our last song. But I feel like we were talking about freedom, liberation, personal responsibility to self-growth. What else? We've talked about the mind garden. We talked about the thank you practice.
Self-forgiveness as a way of reaching that higher mind state.
Taking ourselves out of our own dungeon.
Forgiving others.
Yeah. Coherence. We talked about coherence and how really healing that is.
Yeah, just getting into the flow. Yeah. Flow state. Yeah. I mean, and ultimately that's it. We want to be able to touch on that flow state just every day. Even just for a little bit or more. Yeah. Let's get there as much as possible. And we have the tools now. Yeah. To be able to do that. And
that's the most awesome thing about being at this time, this day and age in our world. We have all these cultures to draw from, of these ancient wisdoms.
It's true. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
I mean, we have all the ancient wisdom from India.
Everywhere.
From China and from Africa and from all these...
South America.
Hawaii. Yeah.
And even the native wisdoms from right here, too.
Yeah, and then we're developing our own kind of modern mysticism here, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, so please enjoy the thank you practice. I think it's pretty easy to follow along, and... I hope you have a beautiful month. Hang on tight. There's a couple hard weeks here, astrologically speaking. If you feel a lot of energy welling up inside of you, a lot of right and wrong welling up inside of you, do your best to step back and just be discerning with every step you take, with every response you make, and be mindful that someone else's right and wrong may be different, and who says our right and wrong is right? these polarities have got us in this situation. And if we could step back and love everyone, I think, that was the biggest conclusion I had in a recent blissful meditation I had was, I am love, and there's plenty for all of us. And this illusion that we're experiencing with the financial stuff in our culture is a distraction. It is a test. And we can be rich in energy. We can be rich in connections to other fellow humans. We can be rich in true intimacy, not false intimacy when we gossip about people behind their back. That's false intimacy. That's the attempt to feel connected with someone, but it's false. So when you want to have real intimacy, and I'm not talking about sexual intimacy, I'm talking about real intimacy. You want to talk about your heart, your goals, your dreams, your hopes. Yeah. You want to hear their stories. You want to encourage innovation and inspiration and coherence within.
Well, and that's it. I mean, we want to develop these relationships, these healthy relationships, but it starts with our relationship with ourselves, and just being more in harmony with who we really are. Mm-hmm. And as we become more and more aware of who we really are, we become more and more powerful, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another responsibility.
People don't realize.
Right. I mean, power can corrupt, though. So there's still a sense of responsibility where you have to temper yourself because of your power. You have to be mindful. And
I'm speaking about power in the sense of just realizing our own purpose, realizing the spark of God within everybody.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then at that point, I believe that's when the universe starts
answering our prayers.
Or we're becoming, in the Tao, the way the Taoists would put it, we're becoming more in harmony with the Tao and the Great Mother. And the idea is the more in harmony you become with the Great Mother, the more the Great Mother takes care of you.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of power.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but that starts with like becoming more in harmony with ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which is, it's a wonderful journey.
Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I hope you do have a beautiful month filled with joy, connections, healing, and meaning. Mm-hmm. So thank you for listening and enjoy the thank you practice. Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Say thank you. Thank you. As much as possible. Thank you. Throughout the day and the evening. Don't attach this phrase of thank you to any experience or object. Just repeat these powerful words in your mind throughout the day. You will be reprogramming your subconscious philosophy through this practice of repeating thank you in your mind. Say this when you're feeling normal. First thing in the morning. In the afternoon while you're at work. Develop the habit of saying thank you. Eventually, you will be able to use these words when upsetting situations occur to bring you back to balance. the more you're able to say the words, thank you. Eventually, the more you will begin to notice things to be thankful for. Your mind will trend towards being grateful. You will find yourself more present, more awake, more vital, more forgiving, more attached to your own spiritual nature through this practice. As you become more adept at shifting your philosophy, your subconscious philosophy, to a place of gratitude, you will notice that you will become more in harmony with the universe. One natural occurrence is that you will be a much more effective and positive manifester. What do you want to manifest? Are you willing to train your mind to achieve your God-given right to be able to manifest the life you are destined to lead? Thank you. It all begins with thank you. This is an internal practice that no one will be aware of except for yourself. Give it a week. Attempt to say thank you at least 100 times a day. On good days, say it much more. Then after a week's time has gone by, take note of how your consciousness has shifted. Take note of the fortuitous happenings of the week as you find yourself becoming more in harmony with the universe, more in harmony with reality, more present in the moment, more connected to the moment, more rooted, more resilient, more balanced, more effective, more vital. Your clarity will increase as your mind evolves. Evolve your mind. Now is the time for conscious evolution.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
is the time
Thank you.
to expand the neural networks in your
Thank
brain.
you. Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
is the time
Thank you.
to become empowered
Thank you.
over your mind
Thank you.
and your destiny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now is
Thank you.
the time
Thank you.
to improve
Thank you.
your culture,
Thank you.
your life,
Thank you.
your tribe.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
is the time
Thank you.
of conscious
Thank you.
evolution.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
is the time.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
begin.
Thank you.
Begin.
Thank you.
Walk the path
Thank you.
of the empowered. Become
Thank you.
a great manifester.
Thank you.
Find
Thank you.
peace
Thank you.
in your mind
Thank you.
and in your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
Thank you.
now,
Thank you.
now.
Thank you.
Apply your will
Thank you.
towards
Thank you. Thank you.
clarity,
Thank you.
clarity,
Thank you.
clarity,
Thank you.
peace of mind
Thank you.
awaits.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Say these words,
Thank you.
say this phrase.
Thank you.
Thank you in your mind.
Thank you.
Don't attach the
Thank you.
words to any
Thank you.
experience. Just repeat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.